Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mass making sessions, and today what I thought we could do is make these pockets, which are kind of like either a triple pocket or even a quadruple pocket, depending on how you use them. I got this idea from from Scrapbooking with Me. I saw it on her channel. She, however, said that she had originally seen it on Natasha from Treasure Books. So I will obviously link E's video from when I saw it on her channel. But yeah, this will be kind of my take on them. So I'm going to move this out of the way. This was just literally my kind of prototype, just making sure that I actually knew what I was doing vaguely. So what I've brought along with me is a whole bunch of decorative papers. These are all printed papers. So they all are A4 size, but to be honest, you could use your 12 by 12 scrapbook papers and just cut them down so they're slightly kind of skinnier. Or I have also brought along some sheet music, so you could make them from sheet music. And then what I've also got is one of those big book pages from, this is from like a coffee table size book. It's not from a regular size book, it's a coffee table size book. So you could also use, you know, book pages like that. I mean, you probably could use small book pages, but obviously then you're going to end up with a very teeny weeny pocket. So I'm just going to move these things out the way and we'll get making the first one to kind of demonstrate how to make them. So if I just pull in a paper. So I've got this background paper here. Now this is from my Hampton Heath background papers. Now I'm not sure whether I might need to chop down. I tried to, well, no, sorry, scrap that. I didn't try to. I forgot to set the printings to borderless when I printed this just now. So that's why this has got a little white border around the edge. So I'm just going to trim that off down the side. I mean, really depending on how this folds, I'm not really too sure, you know, whether this would have noticed very much, but I'll just, you know, trim it down anyway. So yeah, if you're actually going to be making these with me, you're going to need your selection of papers, you're going to need your scissors, you're going to need some glue. You may need one of those little, you know, glue spreader, you know, credit card or, you know, loyalty cards, something like that to spread. And then, I mean, obviously I've got lots of things here all over my desk that I'm going to use to decorate. So I'm going to put my papers there. I'm just going to try and lift my camera slightly because obviously this paper is quite tall, so I'm not sure it's quite fitting, but hopefully, you know, you can see enough. So what you start by doing is folding your paper in half lengthways. So straight down the length of the paper. Then you're going to fold your paper in half again, but this time upways. So you've folded it in half lengthways and now you're going to be folding it, you know, over on itself like that. So you've got your two pieces of paper there like that. And then all you're going to do to make your actual pockets is you're going to fold your pieces back. So we're going to do the first one, folding back like this. Now, what I'm probably going to do is actually turn mine inwards, which is what I did for my prototype. I know that when I watched E's video, she actually left hers outwards and they made a really nice pocket too. She also folded this up, so she had then another kind of tuck spot here. So we might do one or two like that as well. But I'm going to start by just folding like this. And then I'm going to just keep folding, so then I've got my kind of what will be my third pocket and fold like that. And then what I'm going to do is fold them all inwards. So you could open your piece of paper, I guess, and fold them in. So we want that one like that, and then we're going to fold this one here. And then, oh, do I need to fold that one? This is where I've now gone wrong. Yep, so then I need to fold this one back on itself like that. Okay, and that's my pockets then. So they're super cute, aren't they? And oh my gosh, they are so easy. And obviously I love easy. Don't want to do anything complicated. I mean, crafting shouldn't be complicated, should it? So aren't they fantastic? And I'm just going to trim across because you can probably see I've just got that slight border on that paper. So I'm just going to kind of trim across there, and that will get rid of that. So I can bin those bits. Now, so what I'm going to do is open it up, and then I'm just going to glue down my triangles. So that's number 1. And then we've got number 2. Okie dokie. Like that. And then the last one, we're just going to fold that over here and glue it down like that. Okay. So, I mean, actually, to be honest, you don't probably even need your glue spreader for this. I'm just going to move my camera slightly more. I'm so sorry about this. It's often sort of hard to get it in the right place. So hopefully that's a bit better for you. Okay, so when we now fold our pocket back up, you've got your 3 pockets there. And obviously this is not double-sided paper or anything. So this is just kind of white now showing through. So if you didn't like that, you could obviously cover that with a bit of book page. So if I just, or you know, anything you like, it doesn't have to be book page. I'm just, yeah, just throwing book page out there, but it doesn't have to be. So I'm just going to take some of that lovely naval list that I like using, because it's quite a delicate font there. So I'm going to glue that into that back piece first. And all I'm going to do is literally put my glue like that. Not even going to the bottom of the pocket. I'm just kind of going, you know, 2/3 of the way down. So just run my glue around. Obviously want to kind of make sure it's really glued down at the top, you know, in the edge. But then I'm just going to stick my paper in like that. And I mean, I guess you could use your glue spreader here to make sure it's nice and smooth. And I'm just going to trim that. I mean, yeah, these are genius pockets, aren't they? For, you know, something so quick and so easy. They're really, you know, you get a lot of pockets there. So, I mean, lots of pockets that we do, I find, are very, very similar. But they just have these very slight tweaks and changes, you know, which just makes it super fun to make them, you know, because we don't want to obviously always be making the same sort of pockets and things like that. And also, obviously, it makes them just have very slight differences, which is nice too. So I'm just cutting this round, seeing whether I will be able to cover that piece with the remaining paper. So, right, all I'm going to do is literally glue this down here. And then just glue a little bit along the pocket itself, like that. And then just pop that down, like that. Okay. Oops, just grab that last little bit there. And then I'm just going to pop this down here by folding it over. So I'm just going to trim it down here and then trim it down at the top as well. Oops. Oh my gosh, look at my cutting. This is just awful, isn't it? So all I was trying to do was so I can just fold that over. So yeah, I don't know what that cutting was about, but yeah, completely not necessary to cut it in those weird angles that I did. Oh dear. It's going to be one of those days. Sometimes you can just tell, can't you? As soon as you get started, you think, oh, we're heading for one of those days today. I mean, actually, sometimes you can tell as soon as you get up in the morning, don't you? You know, everything starts going wrong from the second that you get up. I hadn't had that inkling today, but clearly... Oh no, look, it is going to be one of those days because look what I've done here. Just glued that too high. Oh well, it doesn't matter because if I come to use that and it's looking like an eyesore, I can just stick something over that. So then all you're going to do, now again, when I watched E's video, she said that I think Natasha had left hers open on this side, so then you could get your journaling cards and put them in, you know, big ones kind of slotted here like that. Or you could obviously close your pocket up on both sides and you'd have it as a top pocket. So I might do some of each, I think, because it's always nice to have sort of, you know, variety, isn't it? So going to just go down that side. Let's just glue that side in as well. Okay, so that's those two. And then we're just going to glue this one down here. Have I put glue on everything? Hopefully now I have. Oh, there were too many sides to glue. I couldn't remember what I had glued and what I hadn't then. So that's your pocket then, which is, and you know, absolutely brilliant because although you've got a lot of pockets going on here, it doesn't feel bulky or anything. It's quite a, you know, quite a flat, non-bulky pocket. And of course you could stitch around here, you could stitch around the edges, you know, just leave exactly as you wanted it to be. So I'm just going to trim this down slightly because it looks very, oops, very crooked. So we just trim that off just a tiny bit, just there. Okay, and a little bit off the top. My cutting skills are hideous today, so yeah, you have to excuse those as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tuck that under my leg because I want that to, you know, to glue together nicely. So I'll pop that under my leg and we will just make another one. So I'll obviously talk you through a couple of them and then I will be quiet and we can just, you know, have a nice time and relaxing to it. So this is just my Victorian Florals set 3 papers. So I've used this, I think, quite a few times already in different videos, but I really like this paper. So I find it quite a flexible, versatile sort of pattern and paper. So it seems to go with lots of things. So that's your foundation, is you've folded it in half lengthways, in half again, you know, this time folding up on itself like that. And then I'm going to just squash it down with my scissors. Yep, can you believe I still haven't found my bone folder? To be fair, I haven't looked for it. I've just made use of my scissor handle instead whenever I've needed a bone folder, and that's fine, it works fine. And then all you're going to do is fold your first flap like that, fold your second flap like that, and then your third flap like that. And again, you know, if you wanted to, you could fold this one down as well, so your pocket was completely shaped on the page. So should we do that this time as well? Because it's nice to have sort of variety, isn't it? So that would go in that way. So we'll just glue the pockets, or the flaps, sorry, down as we go. So this one folded over here like that. And then we take the next one and we're going to fold that one inwards like that. Yeah, I mean, these are really super quick to make. So, I mean, who knows? This might be going to be a really productive mass making session, which is weird because to look at these pockets, they look super complicated, don't they? You know, the type of thing that I would kind of think, oh, that looks a bit beyond me. But wow, they are just super easy, really. And I love it when you can use just one sheet of paper. And this doesn't even require cutting, which is just awesome. So yeah, thank you so much, E, and thank you, Natasha, if you catch this video, either of you. Fantastic pockets. And then this one we fold in on itself again. So like that. Fold that in. Again, spread that now around. Okay, so then we go over and up, and that's our pocket. So again, you know, whether you wanted to cover this or leave this plain, completely up to you. I'll cover it because it's not, you know, inked up or anything. It's not double-sided or anything, so I don't really want it just having that plain look about it. So again, I'll just grab in some more of that nice naval book that I like using. And again, I'm just going to literally go to the back first, and I'm just going to, you know, not cover the whole thing, but just kind of, you know, down a little bit. Whoops. Oh, please don't let's have glue problems today. Okay. So down a bit there, across here. Plenty of glue so it's nicely, you know, nicely stuck. Like that. Okie dokie. Pop that down. Spread the glue. And again, I'm just going to then chop it down. And probably this would be easier to do this way now. So I'm going to try and be a bit more methodical about this. So I'm just going to then chop across here. And then chop it up here, kind of, you know, where the side is. Like that. And then that folds over. I mean, again, I'm just doing this because I like to have it folded over. You know, if I've covered this with book page, I prefer it folded over rather than snip it off across the top. Just because, if I turn it over, I think that finish looks better where it's folded over slightly than if I had just tried to cut that across. I don't think that looks so good. Same with these. You could have cut them off, but personally, I just think they look better when they've been folded over. But again, you know, that's completely up to you how you obviously do yours. So I'm just going to trim this across, and let's hope that I can do this and not make that same mistake again. So, oh, I think I am going to. Right. I don't think I've got enough book page there. That's what the problem is. So let's not be stingy. I'll put that in with my scraps. Bring in another one of those pages. Yeah. So sometimes it just doesn't pay, does it, to be really stingy, because actually all you end up doing is, you know, making mistakes and having bits that aren't covered. And let's face it, it's not like I'm short of book page after all, so there's no need to be stingy. So again, just covering this with plenty of glue, like that. Glue this down. And again, you know, I mean, I'm not saying this is how to do it. This is how I find easiest, is to stick it on and then trim it around. Obviously, if you find it easier to actually trim this down first, then trim it down first. But for me, I like the fact that I can then really gauge, you know, where I need my cuts to be. And if I just tried to cut it to size and then glue it, I'm pretty sure that I would muck that up. And, you know, I would end up cutting it too small or something like that. So by doing it like this, for me, this is just a winning way. It's the way I can make the best job, you know, that I can, really. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely not the only way. I mean, I see loads of people, I know they say this all the time, but I see loads of people who cut their pieces to size and then glue them on. I mean, personally, that's just not something that works out very well for me, because if I try and do that, you know, first in that way round, I just then find I've cut it, you know, completely wrong in the first place. And then when I come to use it, it's of course not then big enough, or, you know, it just doesn't quite fit and things like that. So yeah, for me, this is definitely a much better method, is to just stick it on and then cut it afterwards. So plenty of glue down the side and then glue along this side as well. Okay, and then just the last little bit of glue along here. That's it, and press that all down. Again, just kind of squish that down with my dry wipe. That's it. So they're super nice pockets, aren't they? Really, really nice. Okay, I'm going to tuck that one under my leg now. So the other leg. Oops. Yep. Okay, well, I'm now sat on 2 pockets. Okay, let's do one more and then I'll kind of stop talking you through because I'm sure it's not, you know, really, really complicated or anything. I'm going to do one in my autumn paper because I'm working on my autumn book. So I want to try and get some pieces made to go into my book. So I've got this one here. Now, obviously this paper is a sideways on paper and it's a very definite sideways on. The other 2 that I've done were kind of, oh, what's the word? You know, patterns that would work anyway, up anyway. So for this one, I need to be a bit more careful and kind of work out how I want this to be, because maybe one side's going to look slightly better. I mean, like for instance, this, I'm not so keen. I want that owl like that. Whereas this side, it might just be that this is slightly more forgiving. Okay, so I'm going to fold it up this way. And these are my new autumn papers. I talked about them last week, but I've just done a range of papers that hopefully coordinate quite nicely with last year's ephemera, so that if you bought the kit last year and you wanted to do another autumn journal, you could kind of make use of what you bought last year by just updating, you know, if you wanted to give it a fresh look. I mean, obviously you could use it with the background papers from last year too, but if you wanted to give it a new look, you could just buy the background pages, which then is nice and, you know, hopefully works out nice and cheap and cost effective for people. And you've just got then a bit of a new look. So again, just folding down my flaps like that, and then that one like that. Okay, so again, then I want to tuck this one in. Oops. This one in. So I'll just glue that one down. Like that. Okay. And then this one is going to go over on the outside like that. Okay. So again, just go all around like that. Oops. Okie dokie. And then this one, obviously I want to now fold inwards again like that. So again, just glue the final one down. Okie dokie. Over we go. Glue that down. Okay. That's how that looks. So, I mean, I have got sideways on elements, but not quite so obvious as that owl would have been like that. So, yeah, I'm kind of happier with it as it is. And then I've still got that lovely navel book page. I mean, and you don't have to, you know, cover your pages here. You could just ink them, to be honest, and they'd turn out, you know, just as nice. But I just think it's quite good to have the extra thickness, I think, as well, by covering them, because then it makes them a little bit more robust, you know. Whereas otherwise they're just literally the thickness of one, you know, one like copy paper thickness, if you see what I mean. So, and again, I mean, if you're using a 12 by 12 paper pad to do this and you've cut it down to sort of more tall, skinny sheets, then, you know, you might not have to do this anyway because your page might be quite thick. Although I'm not sure whether these would be ideal with very thick paper. So yeah, it's just kind of worth playing around really, but I think they might work out too bulky if the paper was a little bit too thick. So again, just now trim that off. Like that. Oops. And then over here, like that. Okie dokie. And then we're just going to then pop some down here. So again, I suspect it's the same as that other one where I'm not then going to have enough page here. So I'll just take in a fresh page again, because there's no point being stingy and then, you know, not feeling happy with it. So again, we'll just glue this down. Like that. And then this will probably be the first one, the last one that I talk you through, because I mean, of course, you know, they're not overly complicated. So, but I've just shown you a couple of times really through, because it's just getting the folds in the right places really. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk you through a couple so that the folds are kind of, you know, in the right places. So just trim that down here like that. Then across here, and then just across here. Okay. And then just fold that over there. Again, you know, just so it's got a nice neat edge really. So like that. Okie dokie, and then press that down. And then we can assemble our pocket. So we turn it all back over, and then we'll just then glue down all the sides. So I'll glue this side down here. That's that one. This side. Right the way along. Then this side here. Like that, and then I'm just going to do this little side here, just there. And you know, as I say, you could always stitch these, they would look really nice. So there we go. And that's it. Aren't they just super simple and really great pockets? So yeah, I really like these. Right, I'm going to just put that one under my leg now. I'm getting quite a collection. My chair's getting higher and higher by the moment. Okay, right, let's do some more. And I'm not obviously going to keep on now talking you through, because obviously I've you know, talked you through enough now. So I'm just going to now get on with it, and yeah, we can just relax now, have a nice time and have a chat, have a catch up, and yeah, just hopefully have a relaxing kind of 40 minutes. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you've had a nice week, or a nice day, if it's only kind of a day since I last spoke to you in the comments or anything. So what's everyone been up to? I'm filming this on the Monday, so obviously this is going to go up tomorrow, i.e. on the Tuesday. I normally do film ahead, but I know I've said this so many times, I do tend to film the mass making, you know, literally kind of the day before or a couple of days before, very close anyway. So yeah, I can report that we have lovely weather here again. So yeah, it's absolutely lovely. I'm looking out today, you know, it's in the morning so far, but I'm looking out, the sun is shining. It's, oh, just a lovely day. And it was, well, quite a nice weekend actually. Sunday was very nice. Saturday was okay. It, you know, it wasn't anything wrong with it. It was perfectly pleasant, but perhaps it was about 16 or 17, I'm not sure. but it was quite grey. It kept looking like it was going to rain. It didn't rain, but it just kept looking like it, but it was fine. Yesterday was lovely. It was, you know, really nice and sunny, quite warm, pleasantly warm. And yeah, it was quite a nice weekend. We didn't really do that much. We just did, we did a bike ride on Saturday. We went back to where we'd found that other lovely bike ride last weekend, and we did that again. And we took our middle son with us this time because he'd been at work the week before. So this was on Saturday. So he joined us for that, and that was really nice to be able to show him the bike ride because, oh, it's just such a nice bike ride, and I can't believe it's been on our doorstep all these years and we didn't know about it. It's kind of tucked away and you wouldn't really know about it. And like I said before, it's somewhere that we'd done a walk once, and the walk was so wet and horrible that, you know, we kind of never really bothered with it again because obviously our experience of it wasn't so great. But on a lovely day, it's really, really nice. And we biked a little bit further this weekend, and oh, the bike ride goes on for ages. I looked it up actually when we got home to see, you know, where it goes to and from, and I mean, we've barely covered any of the bike rides, so it must literally go on for about another, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many miles we'd done or anything like that, but I mean, we probably had done literally a quarter of the bike ride. So yeah, really, really nice. And oh, it's just really super fun, isn't it, when you find new bike rides? Well, bike rides, walks, anything like that. Yeah, so that was really lovely. And then on Sunday, oh, and on Saturday night, we had a Chinese takeaway, which that's only the second takeaway that we've had since the lockdown. We don't really have takeaways particularly, to be honest. But yeah, we just kind of really fancied one. So we had a Chinese on Saturday night. That was really, really nice. I mean, we're not very adventurous. We just have kind of chow meins, but oh, it was really yummy. Really nice. And we watched Chicago, you know, the film Chicago. We've got that on DVD, so we watched that. Hadn't watched it for years, and oh, I love musicals. Well, we all love musicals actually. You know, so it was really, really fun to watch. So I love all the songs in Chicago. Richard Gere, he's brilliant in it. Renée Zellweger, she's brilliant in it. Catherine Zeta-Jones, she's brilliant in it, isn't she? So yeah, we really enjoyed that. And then on Sunday, what did we do? So on Saturday and Sunday, my eldest son was working. So he was working, you know, where he works during the week. He was working, doing some overtime. So that was him gone for the whole weekend. I mean, obviously he was back in the evening, but, you know, he wasn't with us during the day. And then middle son, as I say, he didn't work on Saturday, but unfortunately he was working on Sunday. So it was just the three of us on Sunday. And what did we do on Sunday? Oh, we did, you know, a few jobs and things around the house, first of all. And then we went out sort of about lunchtime. And we just went to kind of a nearby seaside type place, not the normal beach that we go to, but another kind of seaside little town, I suppose. And we just did a little bit of a bike ride, and you know, it's a literally very, very tiny bike ride. We just tend to park just outside of the town, and then we take our bikes off the car and we bike into the town from there. So we just quickly popped to the town. I had to get a couple of things, you know, from the town, and then we just went on the beach, had our picnic on the beach, and then yeah, biked back to the car, came home, and that was it. The day had gone. I mean, the time just really does fly by, doesn't it? But oh, it was such nice weather, and as I say, I mean, looking out now, oh my gosh, the weather looks absolutely gorgeous. Like really, really nice. And I think it's forecast to be like super hot today. In places, I think if you're in London, I think it's forecast to be like 29 again or something. Yeah, quite hot. I mean, actually a bit too hot for my liking, so hopefully we won't get it anywhere near as hot as that. But probably about 25, I would think. So we'll see. But yeah, had a really nice weekend. And I just wanted to say thank you so much to all of those lovely people who commented on that amazing journal that Amber sent for my daughter. I'd filmed that video a couple of weeks ago because, you know, I do like to film ahead. And yeah, so I knew that it was, you know, it was coming up. And oh, I was so excited to share it with you guys because I just knew that you would all love that journal so much. I mean, how awesome and clever was that? I had never seen a journal with lights in it before. And honestly, I mean, that took my daughter and I genuinely by surprise when we opened that back bit. And she said to me, "Oh, Mummy, what's this?" You know, with the plastic thing. I genuinely didn't know what it was. And, you know, luckily, kids are a lot more inquisitive than adults because I would have possibly looked at it for like 10 minutes and still not worked out what it was. And she luckily did. And oh my gosh, those lights just took us so much by surprise. And so many of you really lovely ladies said, you know, that it made your day, obviously seeing such a wonderful journal and seeing my daughter, who was genuinely, absolutely awestruck by that journal. She just absolutely loved it. And so I had been so excited, obviously, you know, to put that up because I knew that, you know, you would all really appreciate that lovely workmanship that had gone into that journal so much. And yeah, I just couldn't wait to kind of share it with you guys. So yeah, really pleased that you all did, you know, love it, you know, so much that you did. I mean, I thought that you would, you know, I was confident that you all would really like it. But sorry, I'm just selecting another paper here. So yeah, I'm just having a look through my papers, deciding which paper to use. But oh, it was just amazing. I've never seen such a lovely, clever idea, you know, and for a children's journal, wow, how awesome was that, you know, because of course kids love things that light up or glittery or sparkly or, you know, anything a bit magical. And yeah, she absolutely loved it. And I have to say, and I did say this to Amber herself, but I mean, my daughter is like the messiest person on the planet. Her room is like a tip all the time, like an actual bomb site. And that journal, I mean, when she first got that, she literally was glued to it for like the first, you know, couple of days. And everywhere she went, the journal went. Well, her room is, you know, disgusting all the time. But she must love that journal so much because I said to Amber, it's about the only thing in her room that's not actually just kind of slung on the floor amongst all of the rubbish. She's keeping that separately. Well, you know, keeping it up on the side, not on the floor at all. Which, I mean, that in itself is kind of like a miracle, to be honest, because everything in her room is just on the floor. Yeah, so she must really love it because she's taking really good care of it. And the other thing that I didn't say on the video, because of course we hadn't seen it on the video, but obviously those lights, oh my gosh, it looks even more gorgeous at night because obviously, you know, when you're kind of in the dark in the room. So, I mean, like that night that she got that journal, she came and sat in my bed and we had the lamp off and everything. And she was just writing in it just by the fairy light. And it just looked so magical. It was absolutely lovely. And what a fantastic idea for a kid's journal. So, yeah, I was really excited to share it with you guys. And, you know, was so thrilled that so many of you absolutely loved it. It was an awesome journal, wasn't it? And, yeah, I mean, of course, aren't kids just so cute and their lovely chubby hands and things that lots of people said, oh, kids chubby hands, you know. Yeah, I mean, just lovely to see kids chubby hands, isn't it? So yeah, but oh, she was really chuffed with that. And yesterday, actually, I forgot to say, but when we went to the town when I had to get sort of my couple of bits, you know, from the chemist for myself. We went into, you know, a couple of kind of cheapy shops that we have over here. We have this shop called The Works. It's kind of a bookshop, but it sells quite a few stationery type items and things like that. So she loves looking in there. And of course she's, you know, walking around the shop. Oh, I love this, Mum. I love that, Mum. And, you know. Anyway, she found a spy pen. So it's one of those pens that, you know, you write and it's like invisible ink. And then on the end of the pen is obviously a light that glows like a sort of ultraviolet light that then highlights what you've written. So it's, you know, it's secret journaling kind of thing. And you can only see it when you shine this ultraviolet light on it. So, yeah, it was only £1. So she had that instead of an ice cream. And she... yeah, absolutely loves it. And when we got home, she was obviously then writing in her journal a bit more with her spy pen. So she does love things like that, to be honest. But yeah, anyway, so I was so thrilled anyway, thank you. So I'm so pleased that you all really enjoyed it. I thought that you would absolutely love seeing it. So yeah, that was that. And I'm sure there was something else I was wanting to say and I can't think now what it was. Oh, and just a little bit of a note, really. On my Tidy Friday this week, I did the, you know, sorting out my unfinished projects and things like that. I just do want to clarify because a few people had kind of said, oh, you know, the, you know, mass making things kind of thing. What's the point in making them? That pile, would you believe, wasn't my mass making projects. My mass making projects are stored in that photo box that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. So that particular pile of unfinished projects literally are exactly that. They're unfinished projects that I have just, you know, started at various times. And yeah, they just kind of needed finishing off and decorating. But I have to say, I have now finished them all, which I've done mainly on video. I think I pretty much filmed most of it. So that will all be coming up, you know, over the next few days. And I think it's kind of interspersed with something else because I was then giving up, you know, the will to live, kind of keep ploughing on with that unfinished pile. I had something else I was really wanting to kind of get working on. So yeah, I couldn't be really rigid and stick to my guns and just work with that. But yeah, I have now finished that whole pile, would you believe? So that felt really good to have finished that pile. Just trimming this down here. There we go. And last week I was watching The Fall, and I talked about watching The Fall. Well, I hadn't realised, but it was 3 series, not 2. I think I did say that last week because I think I'd possibly just gone on to series 3. I'm not sure. Anyway, it was 3 series, not 2. I have to say the 3rd series was pretty disappointing, actually, compared to the first 2. It kind of took a different, not a different turn exactly, but a different feel to it. And, you know, like so often is the case, it feels like they are just... you know, because the first 2 series have been quite successful, they're then, you know, trying their luck with a 3rd kind of thing. But it felt, you know, different and it wasn't really holding your interest so much. So it was still, you know, it was still goodish, you know, still perfectly watchable and still nice to have something every night to say, oh, we're watching The Fall and put that on. But it just wasn't half so good as season 1 and season 2. So yeah, but I have now finished that. So literally just finished that last night. So yeah, I'm not currently watching anything else yet, but I have got quite a few suggestions from several people actually. So no doubt by next week I will be watching some other stuff. So there we go. Now, unfortunately, I have lost track really of how long we've been filming for because I stopped the camera. So I might just make one more, because I'm pretty sure I must have been filming for quite a while. But yeah, as I say, I'm not too sure how long. Let me just see which other paper is going to lend itself best to doing this type of pocket. Well, let's do one in book page, shall we? Let's do one in book page, in this long book page. There we go. So hopefully this is going to just work, you know, just the same. Okay, and obviously everybody's back at school now. So I was super excited last week to say, you know, that my daughter had gone back to school. My son wasn't going back until Wednesday. So he obviously is back now as well, which is awesome. And yeah, thank you to everybody who said, oh, don't feel bad. Lots of mums feel that way, obviously, when their kids go back to school. I don't generally normally feel that way, but I think obviously they'd been home for such a long time that, to be honest, I think they were just so bored, you know, that at first it was fine. And then just, you know, by the end, they were just so bored that they couldn't bear being at home. And then, of course, you know, it just becomes very irritating, doesn't it? So, yeah, I think definitely to be back in some form of routine now, you know, and everyone being back kind of at school and work and things like that is so refreshing and so, you know, good for you as a person, because otherwise you're a little bit, not losing sense of purpose, exactly, but your day becomes quite meaningless. I mean, I know that I'd said before, but, you know, I mean, obviously my son, he's, you know, he's 14. So, of course, he was going to bed late and getting up late. And, you know, then his meal times were all out of sync and things like that. So, yeah, it's been really good to just have a little bit of routine, I think, back in everybody's lives, you know. And of course, for me, it's just wonderful to be able to actually concentrate and focus properly on, you know, doing things, which is just, oh, like heaven, literally heaven. But I have to say, gosh, the week flew by so quickly. I mean, obviously, you know, my son was at home until Wednesday, so the week didn't properly start for me until Wednesday, really, when he went back to school. But yeah, once he went back to school, my gosh, I've never known a week fly by like it. I was so, you know, oh my gosh, it's Friday already. It felt just horribly quick. But yeah, I think it's a good thing that they're back at school, to be honest. Right, might just do that. Because as I say, I'm working on my autumn kind of journal. So getting some bits for that is really good. Okie dokie. Right, not quite high, so kind of up there. Whoops. There we go. And I have been being very naughty, I have to say, because, I mean, obviously I hadn't bought anything for a really long time, because during the lockdown, you know, of course we weren't going out or anything like that. And I guess, you know, all these companies didn't really bring out any new products or anything, you know, for the longest time, did they? And so suddenly what's happened is, since the lockdowns ended, of course, you know, there seem to be suddenly lots of new things in the shops. So I have bought quite a few new things recently, and I will be sharing all my new things with you over the next, you know, few weeks, and experimenting around, because I mean, a lot of these things are new to me in that, you know, I've never tried some of these things out before. So I will be sharing all of those things with you in the next few weeks. I mean, obviously on the whole, you know, when I'm crafting, I'm doing a video. But yesterday, you know, my son went to work, and then just kind of before breakfast and things, so before we all went down for breakfast, I just literally was in my craft room, or, you know, up in the loft anyway, just playing, literally just playing for the sake of playing. oh, it was so nice. I was just kind of having fun and yeah, just playing around with some of my new bits and pieces. I mean, mainly obviously trying to work out how to use some of them before I actually come to do a video, but yeah, got some nice things. So hopefully we're going to have some fun as well with some new bits and bobs soon. I know that I said a long time ago, but I mean, I used to kind of, you know, once a month kind of allow myself to buy something, you know, for my crafting. You know, like, so one month I bought, say, my laminator and things like that. And I haven't really needed to do that for a long time because, of course, now I've got, you know, most of what I need I have now got. So I don't particularly kind of need to do so much craft shopping as I used to. So my craft spending is actually not too bad now. It's now just all on really glue and you know, paper really to print things, and of course the ink and things itself. But you know, so on the whole my spend now is, you know, much better than it used to be. But yeah, I just couldn't resist when I kind of saw some of these new things that were actually, you know, for sale. I mean, I didn't get them in the shops actually, I got them all online, but you know, suddenly there's like new things that I hadn't really seen before, or possibly that just I'd seen but they didn't seem to be available over here. So yeah, I've got some new things now to play with, which is super awesome. And I don't know about you guys, but so often I've bought craft type items in the past and then not really been very happy with them. You know, I find that they're not quite as good as I'd hoped. They don't quite do what I'd hoped they would do, or, you know, I'm just rubbish at using them or something, or I don't know, they just sometimes don't do exactly what you'd hoped, or don't look how they, you know, you'd hoped, or whatever. But touch wood, the things that I've bought this, you know, this last few days, they actually seem really, you know, I'm really pleased with a few of the things at least. So yeah, hopefully we will have some fun with some of those new things. Okay, right, just squash my pocket down here. And again, you know, like I say, you could always you know, stitch around these pockets as well. I'm just not doing that, but you know, who knows, I might do when I come to use them. Okay, right, another one to go under my leg now. Right, let's just get out the ones that I have been, you know, squashing to keep them sort of stuck down. So I'm just going to pop this one under my leg now, leave that to dry. So I've got the one under my leg, so that's one, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've made 6, which that's not too bad, is it? Because I mean, they're super fun pockets, aren't they? Like really nice, and they certainly look like they've taken a long time to make. You know, they don't look like there's something easy to make at all, do they? So let's decorate one up, because obviously that's always nice to do. So let's just have a look and see what we'll do. So I'm going to decorate this one up because, as I say, I'm working on my autumn journal, so it's really good to get some things done ready for that. So I'm just getting my ink. Okie dokie. Just inking around the pocket. Oh, I mean, I hope that everything's going okay over in California, because obviously on the news they've been reporting the fires over there, the wildfires that are going on over there. And, you know, I mean, my geography is not really great, so I don't know, you know, whether those fires are kind of very close to where people live, or, you know, are they kind of more where people aren't really living, you know, less in the residential areas. I'm not really too sure, but I certainly hope that people are doing okay, because I mean, it just looks horrendous, to be honest. And yeah, definitely, you know, send all my love to all those poor people who are struggling with any kind of situation that's, you know, obviously must be quite frightening. So, I mean, obviously there was the temperatures in Death Valley, you know, that were just, I think it was like 52 or 53 or some ridiculous degrees. I mean, again, I don't know really where Death Valley is, whether that's kind of near where people live or not. You know, and by near, I mean, yeah, I don't know what the distance to the nearest kind of places where people live would be, but I mean, I guess it must be close-ish, so temperatures must be kind of similar-ish in many places, which just sounds absolutely horrendous. So, yeah, really kind of send warm wishes to anyone who's dealing with anything awful over there, because that's just not nice at all, is it? I mean, there just seems so many things going on at the moment. I mean, with the virus and, you know, obviously the wildfires and things like that, as if people haven't really got enough to contend with without then, you know, more things kind of thing. So, okie dokie. Okay, just cutting around there. Oops. Oh, he's got a big pointy type wing, which looks weird. Okay, so I'm now thinking possibly cover this up, because I've just got a pheasant there just on his side, which, you know, isn't probably the best. Not probably the best look for him to be just on his side. So let's just tear off a little bit from here. Oops. Yeah, maybe something like that, but now I'm thinking maybe that side. Let me just see if that was tucked in. So maybe, yeah, maybe like this, whoops, like that. Whoa. Struggling to maneuver that about a little bit. Oh gosh, come on. And I'm thinking maybe one of those nice blue butterflies. So let me just see whether I've got some laying around here, because I'm pretty sure that I have. Oops. Well, famous last words there probably, but hold on. Oops. Oh, I've only got huge ones, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've only got huge ones, so that's a bit of a shame. I've got the word wonderful. So I've got these new black words in my shop. They're the same words as my original word set, but they're on black and brown background. The brown has got a slight script running through, but to be honest, once you actually cut the words, you can't really see that. I mean, I thought it would be quite pretty, but actually it's, you know, not really noticeable once they're cut out. But yeah, they're really nice, and I love how those black ones look. They're very striking and yeah, quite kind of impactful. So I really like those. Let's just see what else I've got. Let's just have a look. Right, let's just get sticking some things down. So, oops. Let's just pop this one down. Okay. Oops. Okay, right, so that's that. And then this kind of banner piece, I'm thinking we could have across there, because that's quite nice, isn't it? And then we could maybe have the word wonderful maybe on there. Actually, let's have a couple of brads either end of that, shall we? Would look quite nice, wouldn't they? So I'm just going to trim that down just fractionally on either end. One there and one there. Yeah, okay, so that's nice. Right, let's now just grab in my pokey tool and then just grab in a bunch of book page to just kind of press that down on. Oops. Actually, now I'm thinking, I was going to put just one either end, but actually I'm thinking a couple of brads, you know, one at each corner of each end would be better. So got one there, and then one there. I have to use my other pokey tool because I think that's got a big bit of glue at the end of it, which of course then it doesn't really want to poke through anything. Okay. I'm also hoping to get some more things in my shop this week, sort of like an Etsy restock. So yeah, I'm working on putting that together. Again, it would just depend time-wise. You know, I'm hoping to get it done this week, but it may drag on. But I'm hoping I'm going to get it done within the next, you know, couple of days. But as with all these things, you know, best laid plans and all of that, it doesn't always quite go to plan, does it? So we'll see. But, you know, I would like to. Now, I've actually got these brads because obviously where I've sorted my brads recently, which, to be honest, actually, that looks quite nice. I mean, of course, I was just going to use my, you know, my normal ones that I use, the kind of bronzy type ones. But, you know, these. Let me just show you. Oh, you see, I love this blue of these flowers and think, oh, shall I use those? But then when I put them on there, I just not so sure. I've got a brown flower. I mean, we could have a different brad at every corner. Is that just really peculiar? Possibly is. Possibly is. Let me just bring in my brads that I kind of have sorted out into the jar. Okay. Oops, there's another one of those little blue flowers. I mean, the blue is nice, isn't it? Shall I just be daring and do something different? I mean, because we never do things like that, do we? You know, it's always kind of the brownie, the vintage, you know, and sometimes just let's mix things up and do something different. Okie dokie. Oh my gosh, come on. That's it. No wonder I have so many of those left. They're super fiddly to do there. So we've got the two blue on that end. Do we want to have two blue at the other end, or we could even go for something different, I guess. I've got these blue ones, which are sort of different blue and bigger flowers. Now, is that really weird to just have two different types at each end? Oops. And although it is, I kind of quite like it. I'm going to do that. Let's just mix things up. Let's be, you know, adventurous. Okay, oops. So that brad's got very long legs again. So I'm going to have to just trim that little bit off, I think. Okay, right. Okay, squash those down. Right, now I'm just going to cut these little bits of metal off. Just going to take them over to my carrier bag and do that so they go straight into the bag. Not just drop on the floor where someone's going to tread on them and hurt their foot. And let's have one of those numbers there. Oh, I quite like it there. Okie dokie. Yeah, quite like that. So let's put these away. Okay, put these bits away as well. I'm just trying to be a bit better at tidying up as I go. It's not, you know, not hard and fast rule or anything, but yeah, just trying to be a little bit better. And I'm going to just glue this on kind of at each end, because then it's going to be a bit like a belly band, I hope, anyway. So I'll just get my Fabri-Tac, I think. Okay. Okie dokie, pop that down there, like that. And then let's have a little bit of lace, because, wow, we just haven't had any lace on here so far. So I'm just going to kind of squash that down with my stapler for a moment. So I've got this, which is this lovely coffee dyed lace. Let's just cut off a little bit of that for a moment. And I'm just going to cut that down. Oh, look, it's all terrible. Not terrible. Not terrible, but terrible. Okay, that was a terrible joke, wasn't it? Yeah. I'm kind of, yeah, known in my house for my mum jokes, you know. The kids are always like, oh, mum. You know, you'll just be coming out with your silly mum jokes. I do like a little mum joke every now and then. That might just be going to be a bit bulky for there. Let me see at the bit that I've torn off, because that's a bit smaller. Turn it up the other way, where we've got the torn edge there. We could have that there. So I might staple this on here. So let's try and see how it looks. 1 and 2. And then last bit there, I think. And then what I might do is just tear this down like that. So it kind of gradually, you know, oops, gradually sort of gets slimmer. So just go down there like that. There we go. So that looks quite nice, doesn't it? And then let's have wonderful on here. Yeah, quite like that. So just pop that down. Do we want that on any lace, actually, just before I stick that down? No, we're then getting too overboard with the lace. Yeah, much too much. Much too much lace suddenly. So we'll put that there. Oh, the amount of times I get those really noisy motorbikes going past when I'm doing a video. I don't really notice them normally, but every time I'm doing a video, they're so loud. Just wondering whether to have that butterfly there, but to be honest, he's a bit lost in that page. He doesn't really show up. But I might glossy accent the little pheasant on there when I come to use this. I'm not sure. But let's do one more thing. Have a little bit of bling down here where we've got the staples, I think. Yeah, let's just pop that on. So a bit tricky to get to because obviously my fabric's a little bit kind of puffy. So I'm just going to hot glue this down. Okay. Yay. Right. Take my scissors off. There we go. Yay. So that's our pocket. So really nice pockets, aren't they? And I'll just bring in the other one that I have been sat on. So that's those, and these are obviously the other ones that I made and obviously haven't decorated, but aren't they really nice pockets? I mean, they're just so clever. So yeah, I hope that you managed to make some, and if you did, I hope you had fun. And as I say, I mean, sorry, I called her Eve last time. Her name's Edith, and she refers to herself as E. So I had misheard when I called her Eve a few weeks back. So yeah, E, when she does hers, she made this flap folded this way and folded it over for another pocket here. So that's another option as well. So quite a versatile pocket, lots you can do with those. So yeah, I hope that you had fun if you made some, and thank you so much for watching. Hope you'll join me again next time. Thanks then, bye.